What does silver stacking mean to me? Um, it's a hobby, really. It's something I've got into quite recently, certainly late in life, actually only in the last few months. So it's an interest, it's a pastime. It's certainly not a financial investment. It's Yeah, it's something that intrigues me. I enjoy it. So yeah, I've enjoyed learning about the silver and the metals, the concepts behind both, the idea of premiums and spread, where to buy, learning about local coin shops, online dealers, looking at the prices, following the changes in spot prices, and following on YouTube. So it really means saving for me. So I think what I found attractive about it is that I was squirreling away $10 here and there, and just putting them in an envelope, just saving small amounts of cash, and and it's just like, well, to protect that cash from myself, from temptation, I buy myself a silver coin, and I'd have to look into what coins I was into, and took it from there, really. So I haven't yet got a gold coin. I definitely want to get a 1 ounce gold coin. I guess we'll get into the specifics of which coins I'm into. What do I think of silver premiums? Yeah, they're a reality, aren't they? I don't think anybody really appreciates having to pay what I guess is a 10-15% sales tax as a premium on a purchase. But then, is it really that's what it is? Is it? Should we really be looking at it as a transparency in the transaction? How many other products do we buy over the counter where the retailer tells us what their margin is and what they're charging us for the purchase? I think everything else. Everything has to be sold in a competitive way. So it's not as if anybody can hike up the prices. So whether it's a car, a mobile phone, or groceries, or a silver coin, they can't just add on a percentage because that's what they feel that they need or they deserve themselves to make. So, the premium it's transparent, even if they don't publish it, or sometimes when you check the premiums and work it out yourself against what they're publishing as the spot price, and then you see the sale price. Certainly easy enough to work out the difference and work out that percentage difference as a percentage of the spot price. That's what I consider to be the premium. Is what is the difference between the sell price, the price you're paying, and the publicised spot price, and work that out as a percentage of the spot price, and that for me is the percentage premium. And it's there, isn't it? Now, it gets a bit more tricky when you start thinking about, well, what happens when I sell it? Can I charge a premium? Well, I guess you can. It's just whether or not, why is somebody going to buy a silver coin from you when they can go for a local coin shop or an online bullion store or dealer who they're going to trust more than they're going to trust you? And they're going to go into a store. You don't want someone at your home. You're going to meet up in public. So you are, to make that transaction, you are going to have to do less than the coin dealer. So you're not really if you're going to get a transaction, you're not going to be able to charge the premiums that a coin shop is. So they're interesting. I mean, that's certainly what, the premiums that you have to pay for silver compared with the premiums you pay for gold. Well, that's because you're not paying $24 or $30 or $34 for gold. You're paying 2,500, or at least the spot price is up there and it's higher. So the cost of the transaction to the coin shop, local coin shop, and possibly the volume of the transactions means that the premiums are nearer 3% on gold. So it's interesting. I mean, the thing is, you've got to think about with silver as well, of course, is it's the spread. So that it's not just, if you're lucky with on a Britannia, you might get 11 or 12 or 13% premiums. But if you're going to go for an American Silver Eagle, you could be going 25% premiums. Now, in the US, it certainly seems that the spread is not as steep as where I am in Singapore. But even then, really, if you a spread premium is less on a British Britannia, it catches you back on the spread later on, because even in America, when you look at the buyback rates, the costs, they know that they can sell an American Silver Eagle quickly, or at least not until December in 2024. So they expect, as soon as they buy your American Silver Eagle, they expect it to go out the door almost immediately. So they can give you a good buyback rate, whereas they're not going to. That's not so certain when it comes to the British Britannia in a silver 1 ounce. So whilst the premiums to buy the Silver Britannia is possibly less, you're going to get it on the spread anyway. So yes, I think the whole issue of premiums and spread are an interesting dynamic behind the selling of buying and selling of coins, precious metal coins. I think it's interesting when we look at fractional gold, that, for example, a quarter ounce of gold is pretty much similar premiums to, in percentage terms, of a 1 ounce silver. So you're kind of looking, well, I want to buy gold, but you really have to look at, well, I can only afford to buy a quarter ounce of gold, and then you're back in the same premium situation again. Am I a stacker, or am I a stacker, or am I a collector? Well, I'm definitely not a coin collector any more than I'm, since school, never been a stamp collector, and I'm not, as we call in England, a train spotter, someone who stands on a train station platform collecting the numbers of locomotives or anything like that. No, I'm definitely not a collector. I certainly don't want to end up being like some of these old men who have got a coin shop and it's just full of the coins that they're just not going to sell. Same with old film cameras. You see stores that have got old cameras that, why would anyone ever buy them anymore? They're not as good as the digital cameras or the cell phones that are available. I'm definitely not going to go down that route. I think that's just too nerdy, too extreme. So I'm a stacker, and really I'm a saver. That's all I am. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing to do with your cash, and really that's what I'm into doing. I'm retired. I've paid for the family. Now the family pays for me, and I go out shopping with the wife, and I hoard away a few $10 here and there. the sons give me cash to go into town. If I needed to buy a computer or a new phone, they'd buy me a computer or a new phone. So I just squirrel away $10, $50, and I like to save it. And if it means that it's another way of getting a vacation with a wife, taking her to a hotel for a staycation, that's a bonus. So yes, for me, I'm a saver or a stacker. I'm definitely not a coin collector. Okay, next question. What coins do I prefer? What coins do I like? My preference is definitely for the British Britannia, then the Maple, and then the American Silver Eagle. I've got all of those, but I definitely go for the Britannia because of the issue of premiums being lower. I do like the security features and the design features of the British Britannia. I think they're just engineering-wise and design-wise. I think they make them very interesting. And the Maple, Canadian Maple, has some good design features, and that makes them nice. But the main thing for them, of course, is like the British Maple. The British Britannia, the Canadian Maple doesn't command the market position that the American Silver Eagle does, so it doesn't command the premiums. But it swings and roundabouts, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to the spread when you sell it in market. So yes, I definitely prefer that. I do like the Silver Eagle. I think there's something classic about it. I mean, apart from it's Americana. It's the American icon. It's definitely what a silver dollar coin should be. But my favourite is the Silver Eagle. But even when I go up to gold, I think I would definitely go for the British Britannia again. Not a fan of the British sovereign or anything else. I would definitely steer clear of anything fancy, commemorative coins, Star Wars coins, and I'm not a collector, purely into stacking, as it were, for saving cash. So, I'm not going to start looking for historical coins or precious coins or anything like that. And as far as junk metal is concerned, 80% constitutional. I mean, as far as I can see, that's just, really is just junk. And I really think that is just for the preppers. I don't get it. Do I wish I had gold? Gosh, yes. I think, who wouldn't rather have gold? I'm a silver stacker at the moment because that's the easiest thing to get into, isn't it? $30, $40 a coin. That's what I get into. And I think that leads to the next question. Oh, before we do, the next question is on saving. Yes, I want gold, but at $2,500, $2,500, $3,000 an ounce. Fractional's fine, but obviously then the premiums go up. You're back in the silver premium percentage range. But it's fine. I'll probably will get a quarter ounce of gold before I get a half or a full ounce. It might take a bit of some other sort of bonus windfall for me to get my first 1 ounce gold coin. I don't know, but yeah, I definitely want a bit of gold. As much, again, just to save me. I don't want to be. I just want to be a small scale stacker, for the point of view of saving. Now, on the point of savings, I mean, that's the thing for me. It's the saving issues. It's, well, there's no point cutting back on things in life if all you're doing is spending the money somewhere else. And I think stacking is a good way of, if you've saved $50 somewhere, like I recently had to buy a new coffee maker because the old one just going to the end of his life. I could have bought an expensive coffee maker, with one of those capsules things, which environmentally aren't very good. I don't like the coffee. It might have had a milk warmer and made a nice bubbling noise, but really all I like is an Americano type filter coffee that gives me a few extra cups. So once I've had my first, there's 2 or 3 more extra there for refills. And I knew I could get a coffee maker, filter coffee maker for $50. I could find a more expensive one for $100, and therefore tell myself I've saved $50 in the pocket. Down to the coin shop the next day, brought myself another silver coin. And I think that's the thing. It's when you go out, you've saved yourself $10 on some groceries, put the $10 in the back of the wallet, and try and use cash more rather than your cards, so that you can take the $5, the $10, $20 saving, put it aside, put it in the cookie jar when you get home, start moving that money into an envelope, and then when you get to your $50 or your $40, take it down the coin shop, get yourself a coin, and do that. Now I've come up with another cunning idea that I'm playing with at the moment, and that's when I saw some speculator, currency man, foreign exchange speculator, and he was saying that he knew about Japanese yen, and if it wasn't for the fact that if you're investing in gold, you're covered anyway, because the US dollar is going to go down, and if you've got gold, then you're covered because the value of your gold is going to go up. But he was saying that the yen is worth looking into. So I thought, well, those of us who haven't got gold but want gold, what we should be doing is looking into, as we struggle, it's one thing to, as I say, save yourself $40, $50, go down the coin shop, you got yourself another silver coin. Well, I don't want another silver coin, because all I'm going to be doing is climbing up from $32, $33, it's going to go up. And with the coins I've already got, I need it to go up to $35 and $40 before I even get back in some sort of money after the premium. So I want to stop getting silver coins, and I've got to save for gold coins. So I've got to keep all the money, cash savings I start to accumulate, in the envelope, in the cookie jar, in the kitchen drawer, or wherever you stash your cash. And it's still very tempting, isn't it, that if you're trying to get yourself up to $2,500, $3,000 as gold goes up and the US dollar goes down, or your local currency goes down, you're chasing your savings to chase gold that's running away from you. So if the prediction is that the dollar or the euro or the British pound sterling or the Aussie dollar, whatever you're working in, is going to go down against the yen, well, as you're saving, take your dollar savings, transfer them into yen, so you can't spend them in your local currency anyway, which is half of what silver is about, is getting the cash out of the cookie jar, out of the drawer, and putting it into something that's not temptation, right? So it's taking it away, put it into yen, and then as the US dollar devalues against the yen, then later on, when you've got enough yen convertible back into your local currency or the dollar to afford the half-ounce silver gold coin or full-ounce gold coin, transfer it back. Now, so I looked into this, and there seems to be a lot of truth behind it, in that Trump in particular has always talked about the yen being undervalued, and it's been messing around with the US trade deficit and making Nissan cars and very competitive, the Japanese automotive industry far too competitive against the American automotive industry, and all sorts of things like that. Now, obviously, Trump is big into this sort of thing. He's going to have his tariffs and everything. He's trying to have the debt ceiling lifted just before Christmas, while the Democrats were still in power, or Biden was still in power. He wants to change all that So I reckon it's going to be a good. On premium, something I think I wanted to say is that the biggest challenge, of course, of the premiums for those of us who are just doing it for saving is that as soon as you've bought your silver coin, the premium means that you can't transaction out of the purchase for possibly a year, which is fine because the idea of buying a coin for me as a saver is to keep the saving. If I kept it in cash, then I would be tempted to spend the money. So you've got to, when you've got savings, you can't put it all into silver. You've got to keep some so that when you do need to spend some money, you take it from your cash jar, your envelope, the kitchen drawer or whatever, and you're not raiding your silver coin collection, your stack. But that's the thing, isn't it? So those of us who've bought silver coins at the end of 2024, we brought coins around the spot price of $30 US. Well, if you add 10% of that and then another 10% on the buyback price, so you're talking of 20% spread plus, you've got to see a 20% rise in the value of the coin before you even start talking about competing with inflation. And if the whole point of silver and any precious metal is it's supposedly a store of wealth, a store of value, then we're talking about currencies are always devalued or losing value. Well, and there's inflation. Well, you've already hindered yourself by 10 or 20% by buying the coin. So really, the point about buying a coin because of the premiums is you're removing it from the temptation of purchase. I think that's the way you have to see it. So in December of 2024, I'm going to stop buying silver coins, except maybe in a few incidences where I'm trying to make up a tube or something like that, because and then only if the price falls below, is still below 29 US dollars for spot, because anything else is just adding to your the average buy price that you've got. And I really now, because I've got sufficient silver coins that it's just pointless having more silver coins. I need to I could have bought a quarter ounce of gold, but I didn't just want one small gold coin. I thought I'd try out the silver coins first of all. But really, if I was to buy more silver coins, I'm just depriving myself of the chance of getting nearer to buying a quarter ounce of gold and hopefully a half ounce of gold and an ounce of gold. So until I catch up with gold, I'm not going to buy any more silver. It literally would just be onto a hiding for nothing, because if silver does go up, which we hope it will, then it's just further away before I can sell it at any advantaged position and not actually make a loss on it. So that's the challenge of premiums, especially on silver.